Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2023 Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Showdown, the largest international curling event in Canada this season. We're so glad you decided to join us to watch some of the top teams from around the world participate in this event. My name is Jesse Hamonic, and I'm the Vice President and Country Head of Nutrien Ag Solutions Canada. Like farming, curling brings our communities together, and Nutrien Ag Solutions is committed to promoting the diversity of sport within the communities where we work and live. We're so grateful to the Western Showdown team for allowing us to partner with them to bring you this event, and I want to wish you all, the teams, a safe and successful event.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2023 Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Curling Showdown. We're so glad you've decided to join us to come see some of the world's best curlers participate in this event. My name is Jim Grundy. I'm the Branch Director for RBC Dominion Securities here in Swift Current. Our branch is not only a huge fan and support of curling in our community, we're also proud to support the 2023 Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Curling Showdown, as RBC is committed to working with our community to promote and celebrate vibrancy in sport in the community in which we live. Thank you to everyone on the organizing committee for putting this great event together, and on behalf of RBC Dominion Securities, enjoy the tournament.
Saskatchewan, you know SaskTel because we're everywhere. Because being everywhere keeps us connected to you. With SaskTel sponsorships, we get to be part of your community. We're here with you, and we're here for you. It's easy to get started. All you need to do is apply. SaskTel cares. Always has, always will. To apply for sponsorship, visit sastel.com/sponsorships.
And a very warm welcome to you. It's Friday evening here in Swift Current. We're at the Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Showdown. Feature game for you this evening. Riku Yanagisawa of Japan taking on McEwen. Hans Roundup along with Sam Steep. Glad you're with us here on a Friday evening.
Hello, everybody.
B-side, tough road for both of these teams to qualify, Sam, but important game, obviously. You want to drop into the C road in a triple knockout.
Yeah, this is a big game. If you drop down to the C, you're adding, I assume, at least 3 more games if you want to qualify for playoffs. And that is hard on the body.
Team McEwen, they've got the hammer here in the first, by virtue of a better pregame last stone draw. They're playing the Yellowstones. And not unexpectedly, team's mixing it up right away. Center guards up, coming around those center guards.
Yeah, it's one of the main differences in Tier 1 curling compared to lower level curling is they go after it in the first set a lot more often in the Tier 1 events, and that's exactly what you're seeing here.
Yeah, well, I won't get involved in the religious debate of 8 ends versus 10 ends, but one thing about 8 end games, you really do come smoking out of the gate, and we are seeing that here in end number 1.
Especially with teams that these guys know that they can make the 20-foot run back if they need to. So they're going to be aggressive until they're one shot in trouble, and then they'll blow it up. Light rocks for Team McEwen. They might be in trouble if this is made, but this is coming up late as well.
So stones really accumulating in the front part of the 8-foot. Road to here for Mike McEwen. Had an opening round win over the Young Duck Park of Korea. Then suffered a loss to Catelyn Schneider, who has gone on to qualify out of the A side with a great win over Nicholas Sedin. Well, speaking of blowing things up, here we go.
Unlucky that they picked their own color, but still a great shot.
That's what happens sometimes when you're blasting stuff that's overlapped.
It's hard to complain about
lateral damage.
Triple. Yeah, it's hard to complain about making it triple. McEwen are 2 doubles away from a blank end pretty quickly here.
And that's right. We went from 5 rocks in play to 2 rocks in play in the blink of an eye. Akira Yamamoto.
Like another 3-person team.
That's actually Tsuyoshi Yamaguchi.
Rock coming probably a bit deeper than they wanted, setting up another triple. If made correctly here.
Another heater down the pipe from Team McEwen. Kills 2. Kevin Marsh trying to vaporize Granite. Wouldn't be a Prairie team if you weren't throwing the high hard one, would it, Sam?
No, it's funny. This is the third province, Mike McEwen. If he ends up winning Saskatchewan, they will be wearing green for the first time at the Briar, and that'll be a little bit different look for him. So you're right, they all know how to throw the high hard in.
Yanagisawa starting this game 3-handed. Just verify our lineups and just see which player is not playing in this game. So that earlier in the day in the women's draw, Anna Skrlik played a game 3-handed. Interesting debate going around curling circles whether that's actually an advantage or not. Hard to see how it would be an advantage, but some seem to think that just because you get to throw more stones.
Yeah, there's a big argument around it. There is an advantage. A little bit if your lead and second who are throwing 3 rocks each are really feeling it, kind of like Juicy up at Briar a couple of years ago. They almost like you're at practice throwing the same shot. They just don't miss. But the team has to set in eventually.
Golden Flash running that stone back, picking one off. So shot by shot, Mike McEwen reducing the number of stones out there. He's got hammer here in the first, wouldn't mind blanking.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cold on the ice. This is like the third person I've seen wear suits and and some coats on the ice too. Mike McEwen's bundled up there as well.
We are getting later in the evening in Swift Current and temperatures dropping outside, so no doubt in the rink too.
You are right. With a 3-person team, the more tired the sweepers get, the fatigue might set in quickly. So I imagine Mike McEwen's going to play a pretty patient game.
Tsuyoshi Yamaguchi trying to come around. He'll be the veteran in this team. Hides a corner. And then used for like 2.
Versus this, it was a soft. I thought it was good. I was going to hit the side kind
of Thought I heard solid hack. I'm not sure if that was coming from this sheet or not.
If it's an overthrow, I imagine they
amount of swing that there is late here in Swift Current. That late swing with maybe just a fraction of a start, punishing Holton Flash and giving a good opportunity now for Riku Yanagisawa. Maybe set up a force.
It's a real compliment to all the ice makers this weekend. I know it's not only one person because they're on the ice all day long and they're keeping us on schedule pretty well. So they're doing a great job, and the ice looks like it's in great condition.
Well said, Sam. There's the hit. Here's the inside roll underneath. Any kind of Christmas trees, all three of them.
Did he leave a triple?
Now nice three.
Pretty close to a triple there. It's tough to roll all three of them out, but I don't see much of an option of anything else. Make the double.
Mike
Make
McEwen
sure
looking
you have
at all
an
the
easy
angles
one.
here.
Yeah, I think they just have to make at least two of them go and have an open shot on his last for one. Unless you can make the triple, it is close.
Little or no doubt that he can remove two. Can he remove three? As Mike McEwen heads down to the hack end to make his delivery.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess this is gonna be going pretty quickly.
So Mike Reddy's one of the more famous sliding devices in our sport. The tuck delivery has really come back into fashion now in curling, and of course, never left it for Mike McEwen. Just likes to have that brush handle on the ice, throwing the heat. Stuffs it a little bit and gets all the Red Rocks moving, but he does leave Yanagisawa lying two.
Yeah, just missed a little bit on the full side there. Ended up double stuffing, and he might have to, this is made properly, might have to draw the pin against three. Or draw the button anyways.
Yeah, we can see Riku painting a picture with his brush saying, if I just leave it just right there, just in front of the forefoot, I basically cut them down to the button if he doubles us. Need to leave it high enough to maybe bring third shot into play, but really the first thought is a force. And you're not leaving Mike some kind of a pinball triple to score two. You always have to be alert against the likes of Mike McEwen. You think you get your rock in a friendly spot, and then all of a sudden he throws the Hummer. And granted,
Yeah.
it's floating out of the rings.
He didn't get his nickname for nothing. That's for sure.
Yeah, we've certainly seen a lot of magic from Mike over the years.
Yeah. If you can be just full 8, where if Mike decides to play the double, he's not shot rock, that would be ideal spot.
Really pounding this one. They know they need to get at least third shot. That's not a problem. And they are going to drag it all the way in. Almost full forefoot. Nice shot.
Yeah, they left the nose double for one. But they really wanted to make it curl so Mike didn't have an open hit. The nose is a lot easier than just a double, so making them look at 3 reds in the first end. Mission accomplished.
Yeah, very nice end by Team Yanagisawa. Worst they're going to get out of this is a force, and there is still a chance that they could wind up stealing.
Last rock here in the first end for Mike. Looking for the nose double.
A little inside out, they're sweeping for curl, but I don't think it's going to come back enough. That is wide, and that will be a steal of at least one and maybe two. Yes, it's going to spill across the top. Steal of two. Mike McEwen wide on that double takeout attempt. And quickly as that, Riku Yanagisawa with a steal of two in the first. One end in the books. Yanagisawa leads it 2-0.
Light up your love for curling with our customizable neon LED lights from Letterlands. Light up your love for curling with our customizable neon LED lights from Letterlands. Choose your new neon mixed doubles partner or make a statement with a neon curling rock in your window. Also actual Letterlands. Use discount code WHOA for 15% off. Only at Letterlands.com.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Swift Current is great because everybody that we do business with, we know on some sort of personal level.
What I love about Swift Current is the vibrant arts and culture community.
I really like Swift Current. We are not a big city, but the size of the city is really good and we have everything.
Swift Current is a great sports town, great teams and great fans.
People say, good morning, hi, how are you, even though we don't know each other.
And we are back in Swift Current. We're at the Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Showdown. Mike McEwen taking on Riku Yanagisawa. Mike had a double takeout to score a single point in the first end, but flared it just a fraction. And as quickly as that, spills across the top, and it is a steal of two for Yanagisawa. Play underway here on end number 2.
I had a coach growing up that always told me if we gave up a steal in the first, then you just kind of mentally pretend that you just didn't start with hammer and try to forget about it.
That's not a bad way to think about it.
Yeah, it is.
Just pooched my last rock draw.
Yeah. Well, hopefully Mike has a goldfish brain like we talked and forgets about it and focuses on scoring their deuce and tie the game up in the second end.
Satoshi Koizumi throwing the guard stone into the rings, squarely in front of shot rock. Mike McEwen immediately just says, I'm going to ignore that. I threw up the corner guard. I plan on using it. So he's going to ask Dan Marsh. Try to zip one around that corner.
Yeah, when you have a team that is so good at run backs like a Team McEwen, you're not scared of throwing a center guard, or you're not scared of drawing around and being patient and having to make a couple run backs. Now, this picked or over curled on them. It looks like they're cleaning the ice, so that might have been a pick.
Yeah, it's certainly over curled. Now 2 corner guards stacked right on top of each other. And Riku Yanagisawa trying to take advantage of a bit of good fortune, we think. Just try to stack one higher right in front.
The unfortunate part about playing the draw is like that has to be made because now you're throwing a run back and you don't even have a yellow in the rings now. Probably a little frustrating for Team McEwen, but they don't want to fall too far deep into the bad mojo. It looks like they're going to get a little bit of a break here with that guard sliding too deep into the rings, and I imagine Mike's going to try and hit and roll under the corner guard now.
Yeah, they're overlapped, but certainly Mike can hit 3/4 and spill to the right as we look at it from the overhead camera. And underneath those 2 corner guards now. Kevin Marsh, and if you're thinking, boy, oh boy, those front end players look a lot alike. Well, a pretty good reason for that. They're twin brothers. And Kevin Marsh.
Yep, curling's a big family sport, but yeah, identical twins is something you don't see every day when it comes to our sport. They're both pretty great curlers as well. So.
They sure are.
I really like this call of playing the double peel on the corner guards. A lot of teams might just draw or throw a center guard and be a little more aggressive, but they know they have a 2-point lead.
Yeah, with that steal of 2 in the first, the force all of a sudden looks pretty appetizing. So yeah, I agree. Ripping the double corners in one respect feels a bit conservative, but on the other respect really does reduce the risk of dropping multiples. So Yoshi Yamaguchi trying to pound them, and pound them he does.
No mistake
leaping off the screen.
It is a little conservative, but it's the second end. You're probably okay with the blank. You're really okay with the blank being up 2. So good call and well executed.
Kevin Marsh. Tracking towards shot rock. Get a good look now at the late finish that we've seen all day here in Swift Current. Terrific rushing.
Great shot.
Good close look at the overhead. I wouldn't want to pick whose shot, but we do know I'd rather be the Yellowstone than the Redstone right about now. The yellow one can only get better.
Yeah, it is interesting. You decide to throw the peel on the double corner guard, but now you're deciding to freeze. And if this isn't made perfectly, Team McEwen will have a pretty short run back to get rid of all the reds and get 2.
Let's complete that thought, Sam. So what would be a more logical sequence after the double clear in your eyes?
I think just peeling the center. I mean, it's pretty tough for Team McEwen to separate their yellows without leaving a double. And if you're peeling the corners to say you're okay with the blank, then why flip-flop back to a freeze? Now, obviously, they made it perfectly, so what do I know? But,
well, they say every called shot is great if you make it, right? But
yeah.
It's just a question about how much risk you're taking when you're playing those shots.
That red one is 2 inches to the left, and you leave a nose run back, and then Mike's all of a sudden sitting 2, buried behind their own center guard. So, and now they get to split it and sit, 3rd and 4th shot, 4th and 5th shot. It's getting a little scary.
Golden flash. Bit of a finesse shot here. Marsh Brothers stick handling it. Clip the top. Spill them both on. And now yellow is accumulating.
That's the risk of leaving that rock there other than peeling it. The angles are pretty good. Or make the hit and roll here. Mike's going to have to play a blast down the center eventually to be able to score more than one.
Tsuyoshi Yamaguchi. Satoshi Koizumi trying to hold the line. This one's over curling. Might miss everything. Clips it, redirects, pokes that stone out sideways well.
That was probably worst case scenario.
Yep, certainly not what they were drawing up, but now all of a sudden Mike McEwen, like a hungry dog in front of a pork chop. This is starting to look like 3 or 4. Worst possible outcome for Team Yanagisawa.
All of a sudden, Team McEwen has a hit. And you can hit and sit on top. You don't necessarily need to make the double. Your most important thing is keeping your shooter around.
Golden Flash. Got some options here. Needs to remove at least one red. No problem there. Has he got the double? Or is he just going to jam it straight back? Jams it almost straight back.
Yeah, that's a pretty good outcome. You have to keep your shooter there, and I'm glad they decided not to play a heavyweight double. They didn't need to. It's a great call and just goes on the experience of Mike McEwen. The younger team might want to throw the high hard one there.
Well, it's real head scratching time now for Riku Yanagisawa. You instinctively want to eliminate yellow stones, but even if you make a couple, you're still looking at a bundle.
Yeah, Skipper's got to make 2 doubles to get out of this end. Riku Yanagisawa. I think you have to make the double on the top, the yellow on the top right of your screen, and sit first and third shot. One they're calling right now.
And after that last stone of Yamaguchi's over curled, I wonder if they'll be second guessing line. This one will not be light, you can guarantee that.
Yeah, they're going to take the curl right out of this shot, I imagine. They're going to throw the high hard one and get about a half a rock.
So damage control time here for Riku Yanagisawa. Got the great steal of 2 in the first, but in real danger of giving that back and more here in the second. Trying to bail his teammates out with some smoke. Looking to get yellow stones in motion, gets one moving. Corner freezes in front of a shot rock. Better, but not much.
It's hard to believe that a 5-second hit curls that much. But, that moved quite a bit there. I wasn't sure if it's the throw or if it just curled, but it rolled just a little bit too far. Gives Mike a double to sit 4 here.
Very nearly automatic.
Just
really, all the discussion here just has to be about the leave, really, because the double's nearly automatic. Where do you want to roll the shooter is the big question.
Yeah, you just don't want to leave a triple. I mean, you're fine. You're happy to take 2 always, but in a situation like this, where you have a good chance of taking 3, you want to make sure you roll your shot rock into a good spot so it's not an automatic triple.
Kevin Marsh holding the brush. Target line, Colton Flash, such a strong sweeper. So even though Colton throws at 3, it's the second player, Kevin Marsh, who holds the stick for Mike McEwen, keeping the really powerful brush of Colton Flash on the ice for Mike McEwen.
Yeah, he's arguably one of the best sweepers in the world, and he's just a big guy.
He's a big unit, Colton. Yeah. Absolutely.
One of the reasons why he got on the Team Kevin Cooey a few years ago was his fantastic sweeping. Obviously, a great shot maker. Curl.
And the Red Rocks go flying, and Mike McEwen lies 4.
I don't see a triple. Yeah. I don't see a triple.
No, nothing without some real thin and fluky redirects. If you hammer in the pocket of those 2 stones on the left-hand side, I think the backmost of those stones just jams on the one in the back of the forefoot.
Yeah, if you try to make the thin, it just jams. So you almost have to make the double and try and hope it corner freezes. So it's a tough hit for 3 for Mike. I don't see. Maybe you can throw it hard enough that it bounces it. I can't throw it hard enough to make it bounce like that.
Catch the target stone thin, you go underneath the stone beside it. Well, here we go, folks. Riku Yanagisawa saying to himself, I have to get rid of at least 2 here. But we don't really see a triple. Koizumi on the brush. It ain't light, and there's that jam. That was always dialed in, really. Does remove 2. Now Mike McEwen with the choice of saying, hit the red or draw into the 8-foot, and Mike says, I'll just draw into the pile. Thank you.
This is the nice thing about stealing 2 in the first stand. As long as you make a double, you're only going to be down 1 width. Not the end of the world.
Well, that's true. That is a measure of consolation for Team Yanagisawa.
Yeah.
Even after dropping a bundle, you're still just down 1. But they will be ruining the way that this second end is unfolded. Last rock coming up, Mike McEwen just needs a piece of the 8-foot to score 3. Golden Flash jumps it right out of hand.
Yeah, when you're drawing to a rock where you're most likely drawing a backing, it's pretty safe to keep it broomed down.
No doubt. Did he overcook it, though? Has he got any contact? Well, just grazes it. Is it going to hang around? Just, well, using all the rings there. Got the job done. Wasn't necessarily pretty, but it is a 3. Mike McEwen drops 2 in the first and snaps right back with a 3 in the second. Team McEwen leads at 3-2 after 2 here in Swift Current.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Well, what do y'all think? Too blue? Not blue enough? Try this.
Makes your eyes pop.
This could be our best yield yet.
And didn't we get this seed at a great financing rate?
Yeah, we did.
Iced tea? Great idea. Let's talk more about next year.
I got some thoughts.
And I've got some numbers.
Nutrien Financial, financing that's in the field with you.
SaskTel Be Kind Online wants to stop cyberbullying. Want in on the action? We award up to $1,000 for youth initiatives that help spread kindness and prevent bullying. What great idea do you have to help stop bullying? SaskTel can help. Go to BeKindOnline.com and apply for a grant today. Together, we can make a difference.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Back in action after a quick re-ender by Mike McEwen in the second end to take a 3-2 lead. So that was a momentum shift for Mike there. A great shot. Daniel.
Yep, very, very fine shot. Fully buried and more. B-side qualifying game here. This is not the qualifier. Of course, it's coming up the B-side. There's no real prize for the winner of this game because whoever wins this game is going to face the winner of Yannick Schwaller and Kevin Cooey. So the road through to the qualifying stages doesn't get any easier after this game.
Yeah, there are no easy roads in events like this. You normally have to play a pretty good team to qualify for playoffs when it comes to a triple knockout.
No doubt about that. Yanagisawa stone slides deep in the rings. Back 8 foot. Good chance here for Kevin Marsh. And capped up. And after scoring the 3, Kevin can weld this one in there. Set up the force. That's almost a dream scenario for Mike McEwen. Scores the 3, 4th straight back. That one couldn't really carry it down much better than that.
Yeah, if you get a force in this end, you can almost completely forget about the steal of 2 in the first. You have hammer tied.
By Koizumi. Well, gets some move stones. He does leave McEwen lying 2 guarded. Unlocks the frozen stone. I guess that's the consolation prize, but still not looking very healthy for them.
Get rid of your problem stone, which is that rock in the top portion. Unfortunate, but and I don't even know if you can run those reds back anymore.
You could probably run the right-hand red straight back. That's about all you could do. Not an easy shot, though. Good opportunity here for Kevin Marsh to really bomb another one in there. And really take away any realistic path to the pin for Riku Yanagisawa. Looking for a little bit of an overlap, and he gets it. That'll take away the straight run. Nice shot.
Not a lot of options here. You want to clear the front, but there's no really easy run back to make.
Almost, there, Riku.
Yeah, you're almost trying to make sure you leave yourself a pocket of 4 foot for one already. And I know it's early in the end, but the angles are not very good. Yanagisawa.
Ryochi's going to slide up the ice for a chat. So, yeah, we could rip those fronts, but we do. Is it getting better for us?
The only shot that might help is running that red into the back 8 foot yellow and opening up the yellow run back for a future shot. Or that, or just double peeling the reds.
Well, I think that was Riku's first instinct was to double run the reds, but I said you double run the reds, and what's Mike gonna do? He's probably just gonna cap it up. But you got to start somewhere, and right now it's looking pretty ugly, so you have to move something.
Yeah, I think the only shot is making the double on the reds, and then you're hopefully making a couple run backs to give yourself an opportunity to make a couple draws with skip rocks. That's about all I can see. So this is the right call.
Tsuyoshi Yamaguchi, known in the curling world as Yama. Bangs those 2 front stones, clears them away. Nice shot. Takeru Yamamoto not playing in this game, so Team Yanagisawa playing 3-handed.
That's the thing. You make a perfect double run back or double peel, and now you're going to have to make a double run back after this guard is made.
Exactly. I knew this was going to be the answer back after the double clear. Cap the guard. So it's kind of a 2-for-1 deal here for Riku. Try to remove 2, and you know there's going to be one coming back, so try to remove 2 every time. Somehow fight your way into the scoring area. Very nicely placed guard there from Colton Flash. Just about perfect, really.
He did leave an angle where Yanagisawa can touch all 3 yellow here in the middle. That's what he's lining up.
Just checking with Tsuyoshi. How much can you see?
Oh, I think they're going to avoid the top one altogether. I think they have enough space. Just a slight overcurl.
They are definitely lining up the closer of the 2 center guards, no doubt about that. Riku thinks, I can see enough of that. We can go over the top of the shot rock and pick it out. Here we go.
An important shot.
Gonna have to squeak the guard to make it. Well, he's done just that. Terrific shot by Tsuyoshi Yamaguchi. No, doesn't quite push it off the ring. So close.
Yeah, that's sticking around. Yeah, that's a great shot. I mean, that rock sticking around basically means there's not going to be a blank, but it still looks so much better. That's just because Colton Flash's guard just slightly overcurled on his first one and left that shot available. Advantage Team McEwen.
Yeah, the force is still very much on. No doubt about that. But a terrific shot by Tsuyoshi and a terrific sweep by Satoshi to hold it straight. McEwen happy to drag this one into the 4-foot. Fully behind cover. Nice shot by Colton. And Team McEwen lie, we believe, 3. Certainly 2.
Yeah, the guard is high enough where you can throw a backline tap and hit one buried behind that center guard.
So after throwing thunder on his previous shot, Tsuyoshi Yamaguchi's going to have to dial this one back a little bit. Bit of a touch shot. There is quite a lot of room between that long guard and the shot in the 4-foot. Koizumi on it immediately. That'll be really tight to that guard. They just get it by. Great brush. Has he got enough momentum to push Shot Rock through the 4-foot? I don't think so. It's going to push it back button.
A great sweep to get that by.
Oh, sure was. It was very close to wrecking.
Yeah, it does leave them second shot. But if Mike makes this corner freeze, the scoring area has shrunk to only the button if this is made.
Riku does have a bit of a bailout shot off there in the wings. He's got an angle run that he could run the red in from the side if he had to, but you sure don't want to.
Yeah, that's not a shot you really want to play in the third.
Heck no.
Yeah.
Or ever, really.
Yeah, or ever. That's a shot you play to win the game, maybe. That's about it, but not a fun one. This is made. He will be in a little bit of trouble. Not sure if he should have the same tap that they just made, though, if Mike isn't perfectly corner frozen.
That's true. Tsuyoshi showed the way for Riku to maybe follow if he has the chance. Mike McEwen trying to neutralize that. The brothers Marsh bringing this stone into the rings and cozying up. Well, not corner frozen, but on a very useful angle.
Does look like it's good enough to make Team Yanagisawa to make the tap to the button. I don't. Other than you could draw the lid. He does have two options.
Well, 2 stones to come. Yanagisawa does have the hammer here, so there's still the chance to manufacture 2 out of nothing. Question is going to be, what's the tougher leave if you make? If you tap red forward, Mike's got a short run on the stone that he just delivered. So if you do
like
push
the
red
straight
back,
draw, yeah. Sorry to cut you off. I really like
no
this.
problem at all, Sam. You like the straight draw.
I do, just because if your top button half buried, Mike's going to have to play the slash, and if it doesn't get rid of both reds, should have a draw tap for 2. But he's going to go back to the tap.
Well, for me, if you tap red, you kind of have to tap it frozen just slightly across nose. Otherwise, Mike is just hammering back the front stone and killing it. If you tap freeze, then at least you have the chance of forcing a jam if Mike does try the run. It's going to be a very delicate finesse shot, whatever he tries.
Yeah, I mean, arguably, if this is made perfectly, Mike just has to cut off, just has to make a perfect freeze and make a shot for 2 very difficult.
Well, that is the issue, because if Riku does push it back to the stone in the back of the button, you're right. If Mike just taps his own front 8-foot on top of it. At worst, it's a force, and he might get shot out of that, and then it's almost a guaranteed steal. I'm going to come up and have one more look. Maybe it didn't look so appetizing once he climbed into the hack.
It optically probably doesn't look very nice in the hack, playing this tap, because it's fully buried. But, I mean, your teammate made it. So it's
I was just going to say.
hard to argue.
We know it's possible.
Yeah.
I'm sure Satoshi says, oh, we don't have to sweep it wire to wire like I did for Tsuyoshis, but I think he'd be willing to do that if he could get the result.
Yeah, maybe just maybe just a second look at the angles. Like it doesn't look like he changed his shot.
Well, if they pushed it front button, the thing is about pushing it front button, it's kind of useless unless you're shot. So you almost have to get it back to the tee line area. Well, after a long discussion and lots of close examination, Riku Yanagisawa, we believe, is trying to tap his red forward about a foot. This one is well clear of the guard, no risk of the crash this time. Now they need it to curl enough. It seems to have enough momentum to push. Is it enough momentum to push it full onto the button, though? Oh, that is close. Do you think they got it there, Sam? It's really close.
It's tough. I think it's red, and Mike just tapped the red one. It does look like it's red.
Mike was pointing at it exactly that. Well, if they did manage to eke shot rock out of that, kudos to Riku Yanagisawa, because they have actually left it in a pretty good place.
Yeah, I think the only shot for Mike, other than drawing the lid on the other side, is just go red, and stuff it on the top of the 4-foot and sit shot rock back button. I don't think you can make the thin double, so I think that's his best outcome.
Good look at it here from the delivery end on the left side of our picture. I can see a sliver of the top rock, maybe a quarter. Well, this game has given us a bit of everything early on.
Yeah, it's been a fun one.
Seen some thunderbolts, we've seen some little taps, we've seen some beauty freezes. Full range of shots, very entertaining, lots of rocks in play.
This is what the 5-rock rule gives you. One of the best changes in curling, in my opinion.
Yep, 5 rock free guard zone means that if both teams are willing to mix it up, there are a pile of rocks in play early.
And it looks like Mike is deciding to play the hit and just stuff the red one right on the top 4-foot, and then he'll be shot buried behind it on the back button. I think that is the only shot. He's just trying to figure out where to put the broom.
Well, it's really tough, right? Because if you hit what you see, you make, but, you know, gosh, you're going to have to shave the corner guard. And if you're a little bit full, there's the risk that you go over the top of the red. Just punch it through the hole, so he's going to need a decent chunk of the front stone to make.
Yeah, it's important to keep the red one there, because if it rolls to the right or to the left, Yanagisawa might have a draw tap for 2, which would be crazy compared to the start of this end.
Mike McEwen lining it up. His final shot of the third end. Trying to play the red onto the red. And in so doing, leave himself flying shot. Pretty close. Good looking stone here from Mike. Oh, that's a lovely, lovely shot. And Team McEwen lies one. And by repositioning that red, no real chance for Riku to promote it and score two that way. No chance at all, really.
I'm really surprised they're not looking at the quarter rock double for two. I know it's important to score in this end, but you know, it looks like it's about a quarter rock off that yellow in the 12-foot.
Yeah, I guess the calculation here is a risk reward calculation, right? Do you gamble for the two? I mean, this is no prize for a one.
Yeah, it's not the easiest shot for the one. It is a shot you just played, so that probably gives you a little more confidence.
So eschewing the opportunity to play a thin double, Riku Yanagisawa, we believe, is just going to try this tap again. Needs to angle tap his red about 1.5 feet onto the full button to score. This one's got a bit of curling to do. Well, how good is that? Terrific shot. Riku Yanagisawa made it look easy. That was a tough shot, but he saved the one with a beautiful little angle tap. And after 3 complete, we are tied at 3 in Swift Current.
I've been farming on my own right for 40 years now, I think. It's a very wholesome enterprise. You have very, very busy periods when you have to go hard. So many of our windows are so tight that you just can't afford to miss a couple days of seeding.
When a producer places their trust in us, that when it's time for them to be able to make their living, we're going to be there. That's a tremendous responsibility that is not a one-day-a-year thing, right? In order to actually deliver on that, you have to build your processes and you have to build your team and you have to have a mindset of operational excellence, because there's a lot of things that can go wrong. And it's our job to make sure that they don't go wrong. Or if they do go wrong, that we can fix it before it affects our customer.
Light up your love for curling with our customizable neon LED lights from Letterlands. Choose your new neon mixed doubles partner or make a statement with a neon curling rock in your window. Also actual Letterlands. Use discount code WHOA for 15% off. Only at Letterlands.com.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
And welcome back to Swift Current with the Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Showdown. B-side action. Riku Yanagisawa and Mike McEwen are facing off, trying to keep themselves advancing along the B road here in this triple knockout. Lovely little angle tap for one by Riku. His last rock in the third leaves us tied at 3 as we enter the fourth end. Hans Fraunlob here with you, along with Sam Steep. Sam, that third end, it could have gone, it felt like walking a high wire. I mean, there was stuff that could have happened either way that could have been really good or really bad for either team, but very nice shot in the end to save the one by Riku Yanagisawa.
A lot of great shot making in that end. Considering Mike McEwen looked like he was going to steal from a big portion of that end. There was a lot of well-made shots.
Well, that's exactly right. Mike had really firm control of that end. It looked like a force all the way. And then a nice little tap by Yamaguchi, followed by another equally nice tap by Yanagisawa. Meant that they came out with the one, but it is a force. So McEwen now with the hammer tied up. Dan Marsh. This one over curls, bumps the center guard.
That's
Doesn't
interesting.
move it off the center line.
Just made a perfect draw of the top 4 foot. It's hard to believe that he's 15 feet lighter on his second shot. I'm not sure. Maybe they're dealing with a slow rock. Maybe they have come a few shots this game. Team McEwen has come up very light on a couple of draws, so could be shifting around that rock, or it just came up light. But.
Yeah, well, it actually bumped that stone on the center line, and remember the no-tick zone rules in effect, and if it would have pushed it off the center line, that yellow stone would have come off. So okay, if you move it, as long as you don't move it off the center line. Moved it a little bit.
I know. If you ask Mike, he would probably rather.
Yeah,
that
can I
rock
please
not
take the
be
rock
there.
off? Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because if this is made, the scoring area is going to shrink very early in this end.
Big, powerful sweep. Bringing that stone, biting half into the 4 foot. Half behind cover. Not a bad angle, though, for Yanagisawa. Not a great angle for McEwen, so.
Yeah, Mike could, if this is made properly, you could make 2 corner guards here, or corner guard and a draw to the 12 foot.
We saw him signaling with the roll. He said, yeah, we can maybe double roll the yellows here and stack those corner guards. Far forward of the rings to think about rolling one of them on, but you can certainly reposition them both away from the center line. Kevin Marsh trying to do that. Well, he loses the back one, but he does leave a corner guard. Are they going to get that friendly spin? Not quite.
Most. Still does look a lot better in McEwen.
There's good options now for Mike, no doubt. Straight short run is there, but they're wondering if we do that, does that really help us at all? Maybe not.
Looks like they are playing the run back. As they don't want to throw at least one guard. Mike was peeling it for a reason.
Yeah, this won't bother Mike McEwen one bit. Tsuyoshi Yamaguchi trying the short run. This one's really moving. Is it going to over curl? Just fractionally. Does leave them line 3.
Yeah, I'm not absolutely in love with that call because Mike can now make a hit and roll under the only guard in play, a corner guard, and sit pretty good to take 2 here.
See Mike patting the ice, saying that's exactly what he's got in mind. Kevin Marsh lining it up. Colton Flash on the inside sweep. Controlling the curl. There's the hit. There's the roll. And nearly completely underneath that corner guard. Very nice shot.
Great shot. It's completely buried.
Yanagisawa stifling a yawn. They are long days when you're playing a triple knockout. First draw on the day is at 8 o'clock in the morning, and now we're pushing 10 p.m. local time, and so not much sleep when you're in a triple knockout.
Yeah, that is the only issue with the triples. Depending on the game you lose, sometimes you have all day off. Sometimes you got to wait 12 hours to play your second game of the day. Yeah, it really just depends where you drop down and what time your game is. So it's important to try and keep yourselves organized. Book some nap times in the day if you can fit them in, and
that's the one good thing about getting older in this sport. You get better at taking naps.
I think they have to play the run back. You might jam. That's the only issue why they're talking about it. Play the run back. You could roll over and sit in front of your shot rod as well. So it's almost a 2-for-1 shot.
Yeah, the options besides that clear are not good. You're either just kind of peeling it off and conceding 2 or running it back and hoping that you don't go across the top of the yellow and careen it onto the red. Yamaguchi lines it up. Well, he did careen it into the red and pushes it off the rings. So all of a sudden, things looking very different here. Nice shot.
Does leave the corner guard, but at least it's your color. Team Yanagisawa.
I think Mike's first instinct was we'll just draw around. Got a little bit of input from Colton saying, well, what about hit and roll? Well, that's there too, but you're trying to get behind the guard. Maybe drawing's the easier way to get there, but sometimes it's down to the personal preference of the thrower. Just double checking. It is the draw, right, Mike? Yep.
Yeah, I think the draw is the call. I mean, the hit and roll is so precise, it's pretty tough to make. You can bring the blank into play, but...
Yeah, no, I completely agree. If you're trying to get a rock to a spot, drawing it there is almost always the easier way. Got a good bit of gas on it. It's going to slide to the tee line and just past it, but does get full cover. Nice shot.
It's fully buried, but yeah, it's going to force the play around the corner guard at least. It's probably good news for Team Mike McEwen.
So Yamaguchi is going to be asked to follow that one down and sit right on top of it. One of these make or break shots in an end like this. If you make it great, you're probably wiring for the force. If you don't make it great, all of a sudden you're dropping 2 or 3.
That's always scary. This is made well, you're right. It's going to shrink that scoring area quite a bit.
Tsuyoshi jumps up to join the sweep. Great line, but is it light? Dragging it as far as they can, and wow, terrific brushing by Koizumi and Yamaguchi. Dragging it all the way down to the tee line, getting a little bump. Terrific angle, terrific shot.
That was a great shot. Let's give Mike an opportunity. If you can make this angle tap, eventually Mike could play off that red in the top of the 8-foot and make a double for 3 if you're not careful.
That's right, Sam. Rock positioning is something that you always need to be very, very aware of when you've got Colton Flash and Mike McEwen throwing the last 4 stones. Because things can explode in an instant. This one's going to be tight to the corner guard. Are they by? Just. They do get a tap, and they do get a bit of movement. They do leave the Red Rock lying shot.
Great sweep just to get it by.
Yep. Brothers Marsh doing a nice job to get that stone past the guard. For a moment, it looked like they were making a play on the stone in the back ring, but thinking better of that now. Saying, yeah, have to go to the well again on that corner freeze.
Yeah, it's not the worst call in the world to hit the back one. I mean, if you ever chip off, not make a perfect corner freeze, you leave a double, and all of a sudden Mike's sitting for second and fourth.
Yep.
So, little tempting to play the easy shot and hit the back one.
Yep, it is not crazy. Be a different story if you weren't lying one right now, but because you are, you do have the opportunity to think about playing that backstone if you wanted to. It's a conservative play. This is an aggressive play, but as you said, Sam, when you make an aggressive play, you accept a lot of risk.
Yeah, but I imagine his draw weight's going to be pretty close here. You just need to be full 8 foot. I mean, it's nice to be corner frozen, but as long as your third shot, that's the most important thing.
Trouble is, I think, though, if he leaves it high, maybe he gives Mike a chance to go over the top of the yellow and pop out the red. We'll see. First things first. Corner freeze attempt coming up. Riku Yanagisawa. Satoshi Koizumi on the brush. Trying to hold the line. It's got good looking weight, but this one looks like it's over curling.
Gonna do the job.
Yeah. Leaves the yellow lying second shot. Would have loved to be first and second. He's first and third. And now Mike taking a look at that crosshouse double that you were talking about a little earlier, Sam.
Yeah, interesting to play it on your 7 rock. I guess there's no risk reward if you miss it. Tough to make. I mean, you'll still have a draw to 4 foot for your 1.
Well, he's kind of got 3 ways to make, doesn't he? Because he can go straight to the shot rock. He catches a little thick. He can go across and sit on his own. Probably still get shot. Or if he catches it super thick and he's throwing it hard, he could even catch the back of the front red and squirt forward. So some options here for Mike McEwen.
Yeah, anything but thin.
Anything
pretty
but thin,
good.
exactly.
Yeah. As long as you're confident in being able to draw the 4 foot for your 1, it's absolutely fine to take on the risk of making this shot.
So after some discussion with Kevin Marsh around where they want to hit that top stone and what kind of weight they want to throw, Mike McEwen making his way down to the delivery end. And I don't think this is going to be light.
I agree with you. We did see a raw curl here in the second end with a high hard one, so it does look like Mike took a little bit more ice. And Yanagisawa.
As you said, Sam, the only bad miss here is thin.
Shot in the game for Mike.
Well, here it comes. Crosshouse double takeout attempt for Mike McEwen. And there's 1. And there's 2. Terrific shot. And Mike leaves himself lying 2.
Made it look pretty easy.
Yeah. We can assure you it's not. Mike sure makes it look easy.
Well, this is a point in the game. Yeah, this is a point in the game where a lot of teams might be looking at the freeze.
Right. I was just going to ask that. Is this the moment that you try that? Yeah, very tough shot, eh?
If you make a perfect freeze here, it's a tough one for Mike. Probably what I'd be playing.
Yep, if you make a play to bump that yellow, you're basically conceding 2. So if you don't want to concede 2, then you do have to think about something like the freeze. But if you take on the freeze and you pull up short, you drop a 3, then you're thinking, oh, the game's gone.
Yeah, hitting does secure only given up 2. It is still early in the game. It's only the 4th. So. We got to make it.
Well, that's true. And it is pretty tempting, that stone sitting just behind the tee line. It's kind of wired up for a freeze attempt, but it will not be a freeze attempt. It's going to be a down weight, quiet weight hit. He wants to save the shooter and force Mike to make a play at it for the 2, but it's going to spill. Well, it did hang in for shot. So Mike will have to deal with that rock to score his 2.
It'll be a hit for 2 for Mike McEwen. He's just deciding which way to come at it. As a skip, I always like to throw the same handle twice. I just had an out turn. I would want to throw another out turn, even if it's different weight. It just feels more comfortable in the hack, and I'm sure a lot of people are like that. But
no doubt. He's widening up the brush, so that tells us he's probably just going to be throwing hack plus board, something that his sweepers can control, and he's got 2 awesome sweepers in the form of Dan Marsh and Colton Flash. Chance to regain the lead here for Mike McEwen. This one's gone back and forth. Yanagisawa stole 2 in the first. McEwen came right back and took 3 in the second. Yanagisawa made a nice shot just to save his 1 for that force in the third. And here's a chance. Sweeping for curl. Is it going to hang around? It's going to spill. Is it going to spill out of the 4-foot? No, it hangs around for 2. Mike McEwen hits and sticks around. And Team McEwen lead it 5-3 here in Swift Current. Welcome back to Swift Current. We're at the Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Showdown. Men's event, 18-team triple knockout. This is B Road action. Riku Yanagisawa taking on Mike McEwen. Mike throwing a 2 on the board in the fourth end. Takes a 5-3 lead into the second half of this game. Hans Frauenlob here with Sam Steep. And
it's like we're taking a little bit of a fourth end break.
Yeah, it does seem like they're taking a bit of a fourth end break here. Usually the teams just recycle and go, but
my bet is Skipper had to pee. Skipper had to pee.
Yeah, well, I wasn't going to kind of tell on Mike, but you can see him appearing in the background, and sure enough.
He's getting a little bit older. It's 8 ends is a long time. And
yeah, happens to all of us, I can tell you.
Yeah, it's okay.
So Mike back from the comfort stop, and he will make his way down.
Well, important to stay focused for Team McEwen. They now have the lead, and they've only had that one mistake in this game, which was the first end, and haven't really looked back since. They've controlled every other end since. So all Team McEwen since the first end.
And they've arm wrestled their way into an advantage position now. 2 up at the turn. They can force back. They will have a stranglehold on this game.
Yeah. I like them calling the center guard, and a lot of teams up two might throw this top 4, but they're just keeping the pedal on the floor. Keep staying aggressive.
Straddling that center line. So that defends that from the no tick zone rule. So let's see how Riku Yanagisawa plays this end. Ignoring the center guard. This one's off to the wing.
Yeah, I imagine they're going to be a little more aggressive than they have been throughout the game. Throw a couple corner guards, maybe not throw the run back too early in the end. And they're going to need to be a little more aggressive if they want to make this comeback.
Nicely placed guard there by Satoshi Koizumi. Switching sports, I know we're watching curling, but Japan very much on the mind of Canadians these days, as all the speculation about Shohei Ohtani potentially joining the Toronto Blue Jays is basically consuming Southern Ontario right now.
Yeah, I've been reading about it all day, getting my hopes up for no reason. It looks like we're not going to see if we do sign him, it's probably not going to be for a few weeks, but there was a lot of excitement that he might be flying in today to speak with the Jays, but we'll see. I mean, that would be a phenomenal sign for the Blue Jays if they can do that, and hopefully.
I was in Japan on vacation in June, and it's not just Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani, global superstar, but off the charts popular in Japan. But it's amazing. I don't think Canadian curling fans appreciate the depth of following of Japanese curling teams by Japanese curling fans until you actually go to Japan and see an event in Japan and see the media there and see the following that these teams have. Satsuki Fujisawa here competing in the women's event, and Riku Yanagisawa competing in the men's event. And there are followers from Japan following these teams. Very, very popular sport in Japan.
I've heard nothing but good things about teams that go to Japan and play those events. They're welcomed with open arms, and they love seeing Canadian teams over there and creating competition for those Japanese teams who are rising up the ranks on the men's and women's side. There's plenty of Japanese and Korean and Chinese teams that are just incredible at the sport, and they're getting better every day. And they have fans that watch them. So,
Speaking of incredible, threading the needle, spinning, but it was going to spill deep and not through the rings. It's going to hang on the back ring.
pretty good shot. They wanted to play the tick on the red guard and roll into the rings, and they were a little bit wide, but they still, option B, they got that red that was buried out into the open. With the 5-rock rule, they couldn't throw the run back or the peel, so that was a pretty good option. For a miss, it worked out well for Team McEwen.
Guards to work with, though, for Team Yanagisawa. And Satoshi Koizumi lines it up. Team Yanagisawa playing three-handed. Takeru Yamamoto out of the lineup for this game. I'm not sure if that's what the reason for that is, but the result is that Satoshi will throw 3 stones each end.
Yeah, definitely a different dynamic for them. Big sweep here to get it by the center guard.
So Yoshi Yamaguchi giving it everything and squeaking it by that guard. Very well swept.
Great sweep. Going back to the Japanese culture and all the fans there, I would love to see Grand Slam of curling or any big event, more big events being held in Europe or in Asia, and really expand. Like curling's been expanded quite a bit lately, but like it would be great to see more events outside of Canada and see what Japan and Asia, all the Asian and European countries can do hosting those big events. It'll be a lot of fun to watch on TV.
No doubt. Last week was the Karizawa International Invitational event in Karizawa, Japan, which is the town that these teams are from. I've been fortunate enough to play in Karizawa and visit Karizawa as a commentator. And no doubt, I mean, the fans there are into it. They're supporting their own teams, of course, but they're huge fans of the visiting international teams. And I agree. Hope that in the future, this great sport of ours goes worldwide. Stuffs it back, clears the stone off the back ring. So a nice exchange of shots there for Marsh.
Yeah, no mistake there. Shot rock behind your own yellow guard. Great run back. You're right. I think that's the direction curling needs to go. We're seeing a lot of new faces in curling now. It's been a while since we've seen new faces, and now that we've seen a lot of new young European teams, young Asian teams, young Canadian teams come up the ranks, it's time is now to keep expanding and keep pushing tournaments in different countries and hopefully expanding our fan base worldwide. Would be just phenomenal for every curling team.
Curling has become truly a global sport. There are now over 70 member associations in the World Curling Federation. Doesn't mean that there's a ton of curling being played in each of those nations, but the growth is undeniable.
Yeah, we're not going to stop it, so why don't we just dive in and really go after it, I think is what my opinion is. I hope everyone else's wants to keep doing that. A lot of great advocates in our sport of curling. It's like they're playing the shot through the hole. It's a tough shot, but if it's made, you're sitting 2.
Yeah, if you get it through the port, you probably make the shot. Important for Yanagisawa to keep the 2 alive here.
If you can make the double peel and kind of jiggle your rock into the rings, that's another good option if you don't make it through the hole. Just to know the tolerance anyways.
Well, the jacket is off now for Tsuyoshi Yamaguchi, so after that coast-to-coast sweep on that shot by Koizumi. Jacket comes off, and he's trying to thread the needle here. Oh, did he feather? Still made the shot. Good result, great sweep.
Yeah, maybe that hole's bigger than it looks. I don't think so. I think that was a great shot. Forces Team McEwen to make another run back.
Well, this end is shaping up in a very interesting way now. Yanagisawa's got the hammer, trailing by 2. There's one of them behind cover. It is a really relatively straightforward straight run back. Do you think he's just looking to plant this one, Sam, or do you think he's trying to go a bit high side and roll it away from the center?
I believe he called the plant.
Does go cross face, goes across the stone of the back. Almost picked it off.
I was wondering if he was going to get a little lucky and make the thin double.
Just went over the top of it.
And Team McEwen in a little bit of trouble here.
Some good separation potential now if Tsuyoshi can duck another one behind those 2 yellow center guards. Should be pretty familiar with this path. That's really the path that they were throwing the taps on a couple of ends ago. So they should have a pretty good idea about the finish on this one if they are in fact going to play the come around. Riku having another look at it, but now resets.
I mean, anywhere you put it, you almost always know that Flash will be throwing a run back.
Yeah, you can almost take that to the bank, really. There's a stone in front of the rings, and anything, even a sliver behind it, the run back's coming at you.
Sweet, this doesn't look heavy.
Trying to find at least a corner. And they do that, and they get it. Well, nice job on the sweep to get it. Biting the 8-foot.
Almost in the exact same spot it was last time.
Mike saying, well, you hit what you see. Could you thin double across the house? That'd be a fantastic shot, but pretty high risk.
If you hit what you see, you make the double, but you don't see a lot. So
No.
the run back's definitely the shot.
Well, reminding Mike, we're up 2. And this one is over curling. Does he blow it by? Yes, he does. Well. That changes everything. Colton Flash uncharacteristically starting an outturn on a run back. Now a great chance for Riku Yanagisawa.
Colton not very happy and kind of knew out of his hand. Sometimes you feel it. You just kind of know the way you release the stone. You know that it's not a great throw, and you just kind of hope that your sweepers can save it. But
can miracle it back on track somehow. Yeah, wasn't to be.
No, not that time.
So Tsuyoshi going to come down and have a chat. So Riku saying, well, should we try the split?
Yeah, puts Riku in an interesting situation. Hard to not leave a double. You can't really draw to the wings anymore. You could draw around the corner guard, but you're only going to leave a double off that top one. And this is more of a respect to Mike's hitting ability. So why they're thinking about this. A lot of teams would just throw around the corner guard and not even think about it. But you know Mike's probably going to make a double. So it's really important to know where to put it.
You can see from their brush position now they're thinking about playing the outturn, come around and popping out around the other side of the corner guard. Now Now they're also thinking, do we just split the house and go Ken Watson curling and throw it out to the wing? That's an option. I think the split's an option too, although you're going to take some risk on if you try that. And the reason I like the split, if you make, you have to catch that center stone very thin, but you could spin your shooter over and at least half behind cover.
Yeah, I'd be really tempted to play the split. There's a lot of ways you can miss it and still not leave a double.
Yeah, that's my thought as well. You've got some tolerance and you get some separation potentially between the stones. You do assume some risk if you're popping your own stone into motion with some kind of weight. Because to make the split decent, you're probably having to throw backline weight. Well, what have we settled on? Still not 100% sure. Brush goes down. Does look like they're making a play towards the stone on the center line. We'll find out in a moment. Can't blame them for taking their time on this decision, though, because this one could potentially get them back in the game. You want to make sure you're getting the most out of it.
A big opportunity.
Yama pops out of his slide to join the sweep. And it looks more like a straight tap than a splitter across the face. Little split.
Not even touch the red one.
Just grazes. Rolls across.
It's a pretty simple double and buried behind the yellow.
Yep. Needed a bit more separation than they got. Not a ton of room on the inside past the corner guard to make that inside double. That's what Mike's taking a long look at. Says, I know I can get on the inside of that top one, no problem. Can I get it thin enough and still get by that yellow guard?
Yeah, it's not easy. I mean, it's easy to make the double. He's just worried about staying buried behind the yellow. I think. I do think it's pretty natural double. I mean, you might have to throw it pretty hard. Might have to throw the other turn.
Yeah, the angles might be a little bit deceiving from our camera position. As we look at it from the left-hand side of the screen, you can definitely get a cross nose, no problem there. And
yeah,
you can definitely get across to hit half, and that's okay. It's half thin enough to make the double? Probably. Maybe go across the top. Hits a 30, makes it all day.
Yeah, playing the other turn, it's a little thinner. So like it does look like a quarter rock double, but when you're throwing the opposite turn, you're hitting the rock a little higher. So he'll want to hit it thinner than the opposite way, and that's what he's going to try and do.
And Sam, is there any chance you could catch them all?
Not with this turn, unfortunately. It's going to go below the red. If you throw it the other way really hard, I still think it's probably not there with the guard in the way.
Well, precision personified. Mike McEwen makes that lovely inside double and plants nearly fully behind the guard. Terrific shot. Kind of shot we've become accustomed to seeing over the years from Mike McEwen. Surgical.
Yeah, that was perfectly made, and oh, it's perfectly buried. I mean, that's a skip that just got his team out of trouble.
Corner guard still usable here for Yanagisawa. Could duck around the red, get it full 8, and be shot. So still the possibility of a 2 here. Gonna have to be the skip's deuce if that happens.
Probably the call. I'm surprised they're going around the corner guard a little bit. Maybe, I guess, probably the call. Be really tempted to go to the 4-foot and around all the yellows, but probably a harder shot.
Challenge for Riku is getting around the corner. He needs full 8 for shot, but if he slides back to tee line, pretty easy for Mike to follow it down. So I think he's going to want to try and leave this relatively high in the 8-foot to get enough cover, but enough gap and separation so that Mike doesn't have a double clear. Comes up to join the sweeping party. Got to get shot rock here. But I think, well, have they done it? No, it is just about 3/4 of a rock short.
Now Mike gets to draw to the shot that I called. The edge of 4-foot and really shrink that scoring area down.
Well, we know this one's going to finish. No doubt about that. There's enough room there, that Yellowstone front 8-foot. Mike would be able to tuck another one, if not fully buried, at least 3/4 buried.
Yeah, if you're at least half buried, you'll have no option but to draw the pin for one.
You said at the beginning of the end, plan for Mike McEwen, if you get a force after scoring 2, you're feeling like you've got some control of the game. And if you can get this one wedged in behind that Yellowstone in the front of the 8-foot, he will be on the verge of doing exactly that and maybe stealing.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Mike's been throwing a lot of hits, so he's going to just take a little bit of time here and just verify with Kevin and Dan.
Mike's first draw in a little while, throwing a lot of high, hard ones, so important for the sweepers to know what time to give him and communicate what he needs in this path, because the last draw he threw, I'm pretty sure, was like the 3rd or 2nd end, so
it's been a while. But that's what the great skip seem to be able to do. 6 or 7 heaters in a row and then dial up the pin on demand.
And you want them to be able to put the pressure on, but you cannot leave a double for 3 here, so it has to be deeper than that other yellow, and good enough sweeping does that.
Yeah, took that quite conservatively, didn't want to flirt with the Yellowstones and maybe inadvertently flick and set up that double that you were talking about, Sam. So happy enough just to leave it in the open. It does get the job done. Will be a force.
Yeah, it's a little simpler shot than you wanted to leave, but super safe, which is important. Mike will be able to be up 1 with in the all-important 6th then.
Final stone on its way. Riku Yanagisawa needs to hit and stick to score a single point. No trouble at all, right to the beak. So that will be the single point for Riku, but force achieved for Mike McEwen. He will take the hammer into the 6th end in Swift Current, leading by 1.
Saskatchewan, you know SaskTel because we're everywhere. Because being everywhere keeps us connected to you. With SaskTel sponsorships, we get to be part of your community. We're here with you, and we're here for you. It's easy to get started. All you need to do is apply. SaskTel cares. Always has, always will. To apply for sponsorship, visit sastel.com/sponsorships. We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Swift Current is great because everybody that we do business with, we know on some sort of personal level.
What I love about Swift Current is the vibrant arts and culture community.
I really like Swift Current. We are not a big city, but the size of the city is really good, and we have everything.
Swift Current is a great sports town, great teams and great fans.
People say, good morning, hi, how are you, even though we don't know each other.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Welcome back to Swift Current. We're at the Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Showdown. B-side action. Riku Yanagisawa of Japan taking on Mike McEwen. Mike with the force, taking the hammer into number 6. Here along with Sam Steep, and Sam, that's going per the formula book here for Mike. Score the 2, force back. Hammer
ever since the first stand, Team McEwen has controlled the whole game. It does look like they had a chat with each other and said that's the last mistake we make, because I haven't seen much after that. It all Team McEwen, and in this 6th end, scoring kind of puts the game away, but scoring more than one will definitely put the game away. And this rock not on their center line, so they'll be able to play the tick that we don't get to see as often as we used to with the new no-tick rule when the rock is touching the center line.
And if they are in fact trying the tick, need to be wary that they don't miss it on the wide side. If they do, they could tick that stone behind it, which is on the center line. It's the old mixed doubles defensive play.
Yeah.
Push it deep in the house, but through. So no problem with the center line, but free guard zone rule applies. Pushed it through the rings, and that one's coming back.
Yeah, a little bit of a...
It's such a big moment for the leads, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you're given the chance to try that little tick or that little bump.
Yeah, for the last, 5 to 8 years, the leads have gotten to practice ticks and play ticks, and one of their favorite shots to make. And then they make the no-tick rule. You probably don't practice it as much anymore because you don't expect to throw it as much. And right when you get the opportunity to, you overcurl and you nose it. But,
it looked to me like they were trying what we see an awful lot in mixed doubles against the power play, which is the free guard zone rule, of course, is different in mixed doubles than it is in fours. But you'll see teams in mixed doubles and against the power play trying to angle tap the guard stone into the rings.
Yeah, it looked like that's what they were trying to do, yeah. But now Team McEwen's going to have to make the double PO. If they hit this right, they'll be able to touch all 3 reds. Close.
Kevin Marsh. Bang, bang, plant.
Not the ideal outcome for Team McEwen.
Is this a situation for Riku where, kind of considering the game situation, you're kind of all in for steal here?
Yeah, I actually think you're all in for steal for the rest of the game. When you're down 1 without in 6. Obviously, you're fine if you steal in 6 and force in 7. You're still in a good spot, but you got to have the mindset to be aggressive and kind of go all in and throw those double centers and try to box Team McEwen out for the rest of the game.
So 1 red stone in the rings, biting the front button. Center guard just short of the rings. Yellow stone just off center. About midway. Tsuyoshi Yamaguchi. Looking to block that path into the shot rock somehow.
You want to try and make the triple as hard as possible for Team McEwen. You're not going to get a lot of misses from them. Unfortunately, this goes too deep and hard to say a triple is queued up. I don't think it is, and they're probably not going to play it.
That one seemed to slide past the yellow one just far enough to make it awkward. Even the double clear is a little bit awkward.
You probably have just enough space to make all 3 reds go, but it is, like you said, it's awkward. It's a little annoying to have that yellow there.
They seem to be talking about exactly that. Red triple clear is there, says Colton. Who hit that, bang, bang. If you clip yellow and go across the top of red, that's not horrible.
I agree. You could run the short one in and get rid of the red on the top 4 foot, but they're just trying to get the most out of every shot. That's what they're trying to talk about here.
Colton Flash, who knows a thing or two about running stones in, comes up to have a word with Mike. Yeah, I think this is the call. The outside of the yellow. About 3/4 high side, just blast them away. Just worried about scoring in this end. You don't want to bring any chance of a steal into the play. There they go.
Probably, I think it's the right call. Those rocks were being awkward, and no matter where Riku decides to put this rock, Team McEwen will be able to have a triple or a double run back to kind of open up the end. The nice part about being up 1, a blank isn't that bad here. You know, if you blank and score 1 or 2 and 7, you're still in a good spot.
Totally agree. Only bad result for you here is giving up a steal.
Yeah.
Blanking, even if you get forced, not bad. I think you're right, Sam. Almost anywhere that Tsuyoshi puts this rock is going to leave some kind of a double and maybe a triple clear possibility for Team McEwen. Especially with Colton Flash warming up in the wings. Riku's going to be aware of that. He'll be looking for as much separation and try to create some awkward angles as much as he can to try and negate that as best you can, but you can't totally negate it.
Interesting deciding not to guard the rock in the top 4 foot, leaving it wide open. They're basically saying, go ahead and hit it. Please leave my center guard there. That's what they're saying.
Exactly. Guarding the guard.
Yeah. Mike not falling for the bait on that one.
Colton Flash. Throwing the heater. Just straight peel. So that one survives. No, so Yoshi got to come down and say, do we do that again? Problem is, if you bring the play into the rings now, Colton's just blasting front.
Yeah, with Colton's hitting ability, you almost have to throw the same shot. To bring it into the rings, Colton's not going to miss a run back. He will hit at least one of or two reds out.
And you're talking about going half around, but yeah, I think that's playing with fire.
Yeah. Too early. I think you got to throw the guard one more time. Hope for another miss, and then talk about going in, I think. But...
Yeah, I'm with you, Sam. I think it's one rock too early to go in now.
Just always have to think of the hitting ability of Team McEwen and how fast your rocks can leave play if you go too early.
Long discussion as we creep into the 11 o'clock hour in Swift Current.
It's interesting. It's interesting with late games how people you would think they would want to go home to bed, but they're almost a little slower at late games just to try and stay focused on the ice. In my opinion, is why a lot of teams do it. It's hard to stay dialed in at this late of an hour there, and
Well, even tougher when you're playing with three, right? Because not only that, but you got the extra physical exertion you got from sweeping extra rocks. Long day out there.
Yeah, I do think they decided. Yeah, they decided on the high guard.
Yeah, they finally got to the right destination. Marsh Brothers following that one down. Just keeping an eye on the path. And that one
I think it's the right call for sure. I'm glad they decided that.
Me too. If they go into the rings on that shot, it's game over.
Yeah, you almost always know Mike is going to play this hit and roll under. But at least you have two center guards. You have to think about stealing, and now that Mike's ignoring those, it's a little victory.
Yeah, it sounds we were talking about a few shots ago, Sam. We said, is he all in for steal? And yeah, if you're going to be all in for steal, then you don't really care if Mike's going to play the shooter. Now it's more about preserving those guards.
Yeah, it's more about on skips last that you're sitting shot rock, top button is the goal. So.
Exactly. No prize for being shot rock right now.
No.
Really sweeping for Curl. Hit half. They'd love to stick around as a saver. And they do.
That stayed unbelievably straight. I didn't expect that to not curl. We've been seeing such great curls. So, team with Colton's miss, definitely team advantage. Yanagisawa.
So here's the chance to use those center guards. Tsuyoshi tidying the glide path. Getting late in the game and late in the day. And with such strong sweepers on the ice surface. Very good chance of the pebbles flattening out a bit here in the late going. Riku Yanagisawa. Top four here, Sam. Is that perfect? Biting front button?
Top four, biting front button. It's going to give you a steal a lot more often if this is made.
Look at this finish. Going sideways. Not quite into the 4 foot. Comes to rest full 8 foot. It is shot.
Good sweep, but it does leave the door open for Mike.
He says, all right. No sense trying a triple clear anymore. That one is just full 8, so let's get in there first.
Yeah, it's so nice that a plan came together and just came up late on that draw. That they played a perfect end. The steal just comes down to making that shot. Mike still has to make this, but yeah, that's a bummer.
Yanagisawa now reduced to a bit of hope, really, that Mike doesn't think this one perfectly. Maybe give him a chance to do something with his last, but Mike McEwen looking for the kill shot here. Colton Flash and Dan Marsh on the brushes. And they really like the line.
McEwen just not getting as much curl. So.
Yeah, it does look like it's flattening out a little bit. Weight was there. But you're right, just not that late finish. Just seems to grind to a stop there, just half into the 4 foot. Question's going to be if Riku can get inside that one. I don't think so. You have to think about kind of going to the Hail Mary here and double tap red, promote the one forward in the 8 foot.
I think you have to nose hit and make Mike throw against 2. Throw the hack waiter, and tempting to put this in the top button, but you just kind of leave a slash. Yeah, it's a little tempting to draw, if you could be just shot rock top button. But that's such a precise shot. You make this, you sit 2. Mike has to draw against the full 4 foot for his 1 point. So big shot here.
Yeah, game shot, really. Makes contact, pushes it deep in the house. As it pushes it out of the rings? And he does.
Yeah, it kind of gives Mike a little bit of an out. I guess Mike has to decide whether he wants to hit or draw the 4 foot. I imagine he's going to try and hit and roll.
Brush goes down beside the shot rock. So I agree, that seems to be the shot he wants to play. Well, we did say at the beginning of this end, only bad result is giving up a steal. Being forced and taking one. Not the end of the world. That will leave you 2 up playing the even ends.
Yeah, important shot to keep the momentum.
Yeah, you'd hate to get lazy with this one, hit flop out, give up a cheap steal, and all of a sudden all that hard work is for nothing.
Yeah.
Colton Flash taking charge. Mike McEwen saying, gotta let it move a bit, guys. Gotta let it move a bit, guys. Is it gonna curl enough? Is it gonna curl enough? Just. Wow.
Yeah, great shot.
Close to disaster, just confirming that it is in fact a single point. Nearly overswept it, but they get away with it. Mike McEwen hits and sticks for the single. Now leads it 6-4.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Well, what do y'all think? Too blue? Not blue enough? Try this.
Makes your eyes pop.
This could be our best yield yet. And didn't we get this seed at a great financing rate?
Yeah, we did.
Iced tea? Great idea. Let's talk more about next year. I got some thoughts.
And I've got some numbers.
Nutrien Financial, financing that's in the field with you.
SaskTel Be Kind Online wants to stop cyberbullying. Want in on the action? We award up to $1,000 for youth initiatives that help spread kindness and prevent bullying. What great idea do you have to help stop bullying? SaskTel can help. Go to BeKindOnline.com and apply for a grant today. Together, we can make a difference.
Welcome back to Swift Current. Late on a Friday evening. With the Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Showdown. Men's event 18-team triple knockout. B event game here. Riku Yanagisawa and Mike McEwen. Late in the evening in Swift Current. It's early in the afternoon back in Japan. Hans Frauenheim along with Sam Steep. Yanagisawa with the hammer here in 7 down 2.
Yeah, I think they're going to be going pretty hard.
Really.
Yeah, they're going to go hard for their
enough.
deuce. Yeah, they need to get at least 2 and then try to steal an 8. And I think their goal probably is to score 3 or 4. But that's always a tough task against Team McEwen.
So expect to see lots of rocks in play, lots of freezes, lots of overlaps from Team Yanagisawa trying to manufacture something here. They will take on lots of risk in the process. Riku saying second corner guard.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Statistically speaking, the split corner guard is the most aggressive call in curling. It just statistically it gives up a lot of steals. So it's probably one of the reasons why he doesn't want to play the 2 corner guards here. That's why you see a lot of teams throw the two corner guards on the same side of the sheet. That tends to be better for. At least that's what the stats say, anyways. But
yeah, stacked corners is a safer way to multiple points, but different story when you need 3, and you get the sense that Riku Yanagisawa needs 3 here to have any kind of a chance.
I actually really like this call to play the tick and create 3 corner guards if made properly.
So it's a split. That stone is in the free guard zone, so they can move it. You just can't move it out of play. Now the debate is, where do you want to push it? Do you want to leave it short of the rings, or do you want to push it into the rings? I think if you're thinking about pace of play for Team Yanagisawa, the polite word that you would use is deliberate.
Yes, at the top level, when they are playing on clocks, they definitely are going to want to be a little bit quicker. But as I said with Team Dean earlier today, when they had a lot of conversations, these are their learning games for them. They want to learn as much as they can for their bigger games in February and when they're playing Worlds and World Qualifiers. Although it is a slow for us, it is a lot of big learning opportunity for them.
That's a very good point, Sam. So Satoshi Koizumi being asked to play a split on the yellow guard, trying to leave a corner guard of his own. Promote the Yellowstone on an angle, keeping it in play. Colton Flash onto it, saying, I can sweep this out of play if it's in motion. Takes a look, say, nope, that's not going to go out of play. Just leave it. Brush in the air, acknowledging the nice shot.
Yeah, that was a great shot.
Mike McEwen sharing a smile with the ice techs.
I think the ice techs were reminding him that there's a no-tick rule, but that rock wasn't on the center line. So, able to play that in a well-executed shot. That was made and called to perfection. And makes Mike throw a center guard up 2 in the 7th.
Well, and the other thing that Satoshi did on that shot is he pushed that stone on the wings behind the tee line as well. So freezable. Kevin Marsh follows his shot down the sheet. Twin brother Dan. Colton Flash trying to drag this one in front of the shot rock. Well, 5 rocks have been delivered, so I don't think you try a little bump split thing here again. Probably got all the guards you're going to get.
Yeah, it's time to make a couple freeze taps or freeze and hope to have a run back for 2 or 3 is kind of the way this end is going to go. You can wrap a few around and have a shot for 2 or 3. That's all they want to do.
If you're gambling hard for 2 or 3 here, do you even want to move shot rock, or do you just want to sit right in front of it?
Just a perfect freeze is fine. You can tap it behind the tee line, and that works too. Really just up to the team and what looks like they're playing the tap.
Yamaguchi pivoting now to sweep for curl. One of the stronger and more effective sweepers out there, Tsuyoshi Yamaguchi. They do get the bump, but they do flop over into the open. That was always the danger.
Yeah, you're always going to. That is the issue with playing the tap.
Relatively easy pickings for Mike McEwen. So easy, in fact, that he says, let's use the opportunity here to get rid of some of those front stones.
Mike's still trying to be 3 shots ahead. That's why he's kind of discussed what happens if we make the double peel. But
yeah,
the safe call is playing the hit and roll on the rock in the top 4 foot.
Kevin Marsh. Gets that little inside flop perfectly behind cover. Very nicely read and very nicely thrown by Kevin Marsh. Sitting a half a rock width in front of the tee line, fully behind cover. And now I think it is all full caution to the wind here for Riku Yanagisawa. I think you're going to have to stack some stones in front of your opponent's stones and hope that you can run them in later.
Yeah, no option after a great hit and roll. You have to make a couple freezes and hope to have a run back for 2 or 3. That's about it. About all that's left.
Tsuyoshi Yamaguchi. Satoshi Koizumi trying to hold the line here. Do not want to flick that center guard going by. Are they by? Just.
Wow.
Great brushing by the Japanese tandem.
Game-saving sweep.
Absolutely. That's a round that you owe Satoshi. Keeping it alive for Team Yanagisawa with the brush.
This is the interesting scenario that Mike McEwen has himself in, is sometimes best defense is offense. And in this scenario, I mean, you could peel, but it opens up shot rock, and you could just throw this top 12 like Mike is saying and play for the win right now.
Well, Steele would definitely ice it for Mike McEwen. Is he brave enough to change gears and try to defend that stone? He's got his opponent's stone frozen directly nose in front of it, so it would be a pretty brave call to try and guard it out from here.
You think the Twins even have to talk to each other while they're sweeping?
I think it's telepathic.
Yeah,
Stan.
that's what I was
they've really got it locked in.
Yeah, because that's just an absolute perfect spot.
Very nice shot from Colton Flash. Fully behind cover. So now the run is still available, but if you're running red onto yellow onto red, and that's not quite so appetizing for Yanagisawa. Sounds
not over
goofy.
yet.
Yeah, I agree. I was just going to say, is there any, it's a long way around, but would you ever think of freezing the one just in the back 8?
Yeah, it is a long way around. You make that freeze, you might set up a double run back or some kind of for 2 or 3.
Well, that's what I was thinking. You know,
yeah,
if you freeze back 8, that might be your only chance to set up a 3.
Yeah, you might be right. You could also throw the corner freeze on the yellow. Might set up an angle, but that is just an awfully hard shot.
Yeah, you're definitely digging deep now. I mean, 2 is pretty plausible. Because you do have that redstone kind of frozen against the shot rock, so in the back of your mind, you're thinking, yeah, you got to move some rocks around or you could angle something in, but you could see yourself scoring 2. But how do you see yourself scoring 3? I think for me is the question. And if I'm Riku Yanagisawa, I'm thinking I got to press hard to try and force something that gives me a chance for a 3. Because if I go home tied up to Mike McEwen and you've got the hammer, we're in big trouble.
Yeah, and that looks like that's what they're talking about. I don't mind this. You run that red one into the yellow in the top 12. Tap it over and might create an opportunity to make a double or a triple for 2 or 3. Yeah, but I do like your freeze call. I mean, it's
You really have to go out to the side of the sheet to make it, but I
yeah,
think
it's a
you got to
really.
try
I mean, every shot from now on is going to be hard, but if you want to score 3, don't mind this angle run back either. It opens up that side of the sheet. You eliminate the yellow stone. You sit second and fifth, or second and fourth maybe, depending on where you roll.
Will be a play on the front red. And just see where Tsuyoshi Yamaguchi is trying to direct this. You want to move stones, but you don't want to move them around too much. You need some rocks in play. Rocks are your friends right now. Marsh Brothers looking on. That one over curls.
They did not throw a ton of weight at that. That looks like they threw about board.
Yeah, that was really more like a tap raise attempt more than a run. Potentially usable, but only marginally so out there in the wing.
Yeah, those center guards, you might be able to. I think they might be close enough to drag onto that yellow in the top 12 and might be able to create a chain reaction to the rest of the rocks in play.
Yep, and you could hit red on the wing and roll flat to the back button and get shot.
Yeah, they created they created some options, and they have that angle run on the corner guard too. So not a bad turnout for a miss. It's not a bad result.
Brings Colton Flash down for a discussion, that's for sure. Dan and Kevin Marsh resisting the urge to run down and join the conversation, but they're thinking about it too. Now Kevin is going to come down and join the conversation. Give his 2 cents worth.
Might as well at this point.
Well, yeah, we've been out here for 2.5 hours, right? So what's another 5 minutes?
An important spot. It's I do think you could just peel out the red and the 12-foot on the edge of 12-foot. Don't even keep your shooter there. Just hit and roll out.
Yeah, that was my first thought. Red one is the one that's going to hurt you.
Yeah, it takes that option away from them.
Because let's imagine he does that. Imagine he just peels out the red one on the wing. What's Riku's next shot back?
Yeah, I mean, if you peel the one on the wing, I think the only shot Riku will have is that run back.
And there, the angles aren't great. You need some drag. You're going to have to move 4 rocks.
Yeah.
And even after all that, you're only going to be line 1. Mike could just seal it up. I just think that rock on the right is the only thing that represents any kind of danger. I mean, that long corner guard, top left of the overhead. Yeah, you could run that in, but there's no angle for it. So it's a little bit dangerous, but not that dangerous. Whereas this red one on the right-hand side, catch it thin, you can kind of go around the horn off the one in the back 8-foot.
Yeah, it looks like they're listening to us, like they.
We should just talk a little louder.
Yeah.
A direct line out there. Not saying this is the right call, but it does look like a rock that feels like trouble.
Yeah, I really don't see any other option. hit this out and make your opponent make a crazy shot. That's really all that's left.
So this time it was Team McEwen's turn for a long discussion, and after the long discussion, they are making a play on the red, but boy, oh boy, it's gone over, curled the red, and it is going to whiff. My goodness.
You can't see my webcam, but my jaw's dropped. I couldn't believe that happened.
My. So now that red is absolutely usable. Riku Yanagisawa, but may not need to use it on this shot now after that miss from Colton Flash.
Seen that a few times today. When you get out to the wings and throw those board waders, they curl a ton. And that's just kind of what happened to Colton.
Yeah. Fresher pebble. Maybe a bit of frost creeping in out there. Something grabs, turns. All of a sudden, see you later.
Yeah, luckily he did nudge that yellow, so the in-off isn't as easy because you won't be able to go off the bottom yellow up to the top yellow.
That's true.
And it's really flat to make just the in-off, so kind of is mission accomplished for Team McEwen.
Well, I think the jump is still there to get the back button, though, off the red.
Yeah.
But you're right. Too flat to get to the yellow, for sure, but you can certainly roll for shot.
Yep.
Rolling for shot, though, doesn't really do too much for you because the angles aren't great. And I think you got to wedge another one in there somewhere as a setup shot for Riku.
Yeah. I do like the freeze call. You might be able to do something with it.
Me too. I think this is the play. Corner freeze the red. Increase the danger for Mike McEwen. Don't worry about anything else. Just half freeze the red and say to Mike, come and get it. Because if Mike does make a play, he runs the risk of unlocking the red and the yellow. That opens the door to maybe 2 or 3. Oh, we timed this game with a calendar, I think.
That's going to be the new year soon.
That's right. How many shopping days till Christmas?
Yeah. It is an important shot. They're discussing all the possibilities, that's for sure. I do think the freeze is the call. They could freeze the back yellow one. I just don't see what that does.
There's only one shot here, and I think it's the freeze. Sorry to interrupt you, Sam, but
no, you're right.
I think if you're, and I'm saying that because I don't think 2 does them any good at all. I think if you're going aggressive for 3, you got to play the corner freeze on your own shot.
Yeah, I mean, you can freeze the yellow if you could put it right beside it in the full 4-foot. It would make McEwen think about his next shot, that's for sure. And it's a very precise shot, but precise shots have to be made at this point of the game.
I don't like promoting yellow. That doesn't feel helpful at all to me. Reason I say that is all that does is give Mike more options. Thanks to jump off. Lonely Rock sitting there waiting in the hack for somebody to come down and throw it. And somebody is Tsuyoshi Yamaguchi. But they have to make their shot choice first. I think anything with an open path is just going to leave Mike McEwen saying, I'll just bang it.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this call. Looks like they're drawing around the corner guard.
Yeah, I have to say I don't like this at all.
I don't even think they're gonna. They might not be second shot after this, or third shot after this. They might be fourth, which just doesn't do anything for you.
Yeah, that's my exactly. How does this help the cause? So after an extremely long discussion, Tsuyoshi Yamaguchi is going to take the play away from the center. We've seen how effective they are with the brushes, and they need to be, but as you said, Sam, get it over there, but your only fourth shot.
I guess their idea, they were leaving a run back off the red one, run back into the red that they just threw, and then cross it into the yellow. And that's what Mike just kind of pointed out.
Can Mike see enough of the target rock to think about flat crosshouse double here, or do you even bother?
Don't even bother with that. I think you could. They know that they want to deal with it because that is their only problem route. You could just slap a guard up, just guard the red one.
I mean, right now, what happens if you guard?
Yeah, if you put this in the 3 guard zone and in front of the run back, and it is easy to just eliminate, but tough one to eliminate.
Well, the only risk about making a play at this shot, if Mike makes it too good, in other words, if it over curls, you could slam it on that one in the wing, kind of roll in the open and inadvertently give Riku something to work with when right now he hasn't got much. Going to come back down and maybe rethinking, and now we see the plan of thinking, what happens if we guard? They are listening to us, Sam.
Who's feeding them information? That's what I want to know. I mean, if you can put it on the 3 of S3 there, or just right in between the 3 and the B, that's take away the run back, you take away the in off. You don't leave anything for them to use. Yeah.
Yep, sometimes it feels wrong to guard when there's something to hit, but sometimes
I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good right about now that he's decided to throw the guard. I think. Yeah.
You channeled guard energy to Mike McEwen there, Sam. Well done.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll be a good coach after all. But, I think this is the right call. You take away everything. That the reason why they threw it over there, you take it all away from them with one guard.
Well, this is it. If you make the guard, how does Riku score 3?
How do they score?
How do they score at all? Exactly. Yeah. Haven't put a clock on the running time of this 7th end, but we have been out here quite a while. Mike McEwen deciding to throw the guard after a long discussion. That's what happens when you get lots of rocks in play. You have to be very careful and very thoughtful about your rock positioning.
Yeah, I mean, the 5 rock rule giveth and the 5 rock rule taketh away. I mean, it makes the ends a lot more complicated sometimes and tends to make the game longer.
So
does make it a lot more fun.
Yeah, it does make it a lot more fun. It gives us a lot of time to talk about shot options, that's for sure. So McEwen takes away the path to that redstone, so makes it virtually unusable now for Riku Yanagisawa. So that will bring the play and the attention back into these rocks strung along just to the left of the center line as we look at it. So this is the time he's going to have to make a move. Yellow, red, yellow, red.
Yeah, I'm trying to make this drag onto that top yellow. B-shot rock after this, if this is made.
Yellow, yellow, red. Well, the reds have accumulated a bit. Players looking around. Did somebody inadvertently touch a stone in motion, I wonder?
I think they're looking to see who's second shot or third shot.
Yeah,
Looks like red.
Looks like red to me as well.
Mike has no choice but to try and make the double. Flat. But if he can at least sit 3, it would be great. You could throw up the guard the red-yellow, but then you'll leave a thin double for 3 or 2. So you have to hit something. Well, the double's not there because the guard's in the way. Well, decision time,
Trying
I
to
guess.
hit what he sees. Maybe he could make that double, but big risk. Colton Flash patting his brush in front of the ice, saying, "Oh, just guard it up, Mike."
Yeah, if you guard, they play that double for 3.
Yep.
The yellow might spin in, but probably not. I mean, you can't leave a shot for 3. So you can't guard. You have to play something in the rings, whether it's a hit or a draw. Good draw
You ever
to the.
consider just peeling out the shot rock and conceding 2?
Yeah, you hate to give a free deuce. But,
Sure do.
It is better than giving up 3. I hate that call. Freeze the back yellow. Make that freeze. They won't be able to nose the red one. You could corner freeze that as well. 2 very good options.
Yeah, it would be really close if he did freeze that back stone in the back, the 8-foot. And then that turned into a red-yellow raise. And the Riku could hit it just off nose and maybe squeeze a second one into the 4-foot for the pair.
I don't think Mike's convinced to throw a hit or a free.
He's looking at what he's got and he's not liking what he's seeing. Nothing obvious here.
Yeah, nosing that back yellow might be a good call. Yeah, you can't freeze that back yellow, but unless you throw a spinner, it's going to overcurl.
Yeah, exactly. How do you get there? That's the question.
Just hit and roll. Hit that red one and roll to the center. It might spin up and leave it a hard run for 2. Yeah, play the hack weight or hit and roll to the center line. Try to roll to the corner frozen on the yellow and make it a tough 2. It's probably the call. Flash means you're giving up 3, that's all.
Are they playing the downweight shot at second shot?
I guess.
Yeah. Almost a hit and roll.
Hit and roll right to where the broom is. Makes it a pretty difficult 2 points.
Yep,
Not the easy
just heard
shot.
from the ambient microphone, might be a board waiter. Gives us an idea of what kind of weight that Mike's intending to throw here. Well, this marathon 7th end carries on. Mike McEwen being forced to play a very delicate shot. He's had pretty much control of the game, but one little slip here, and it could be big trouble.
Close. The curl.
By the guard. He's got a piece. There's one. Gets a little bit of action on the shot rock. And then it comes to rest front button.
Is there a shot for 3? Could you ever?
Well, that's what I'm just looking at as well.
Could you ever
paper
pay
that one
for that
going by and
yellow?
redirect?
Yeah. I mean, you play it, make sure you score 2. That's close. That is very close to being there for 3. You can just touch both of those yellows.
So to make Sam in that scenario, hit the stone front button just off nose on the high side, just graze the one behind it and redirect and pinball the one in the back.
Yep. And then they'll spin to the side there. I think it's there. You got to throw it hard. Like you said earlier in the end, about 45 minutes ago, it's been 2 doesn't help at all.
2 doesn't feel like enough, does it?
No, it's tough. I mean, it feels good to be tied, but tied without against a team like Mike McEwen is never a good place to be.
Saying that, at least 2 is essential. Here it comes. Hold on to your hats, everybody. Needs to curl a bit more. Makes the double, but does not stick around for a second shot. So that might be fatal.
Yeah.
Single point, but they were hoping for more. Made the upweight play to try and score 3. Made the double takeout, but caught it thin. Rolled away, and it is only a single point for Riku Yanagisawa. So we head for the 8th end. Yanagisawa will need to steal to force the extra here in Swift Current.
I've been farming on my own right for 40 years now, I think. It's a very wholesome enterprise. You have very, very busy periods when you have to go hard. So many of our windows are so tight that you just can't afford to miss a couple days of seeding.
When a producer places their trust in us, that when it's time for them to be able to make their living, we're going to be there. That's a tremendous responsibility that is not a one-day-a-year thing, right? In order to actually deliver on that, you have to build your processes and you have to build your team and you have to have a mindset of operational excellence, because there's a lot of things that can go wrong. And it's our job to make sure that they don't go wrong. Or if they do go wrong, that we can fix it before it affects our customer.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Light up your love for curling with our customizable neon LED lights from Letterlands. Choose your new neon mixed doubles partner or make a statement with a neon curling rock in your window. Also actual Letterlands. Use discount code WHOA for 15% off. Only at Letterlands.com.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to send...
And welcome back. And if you've stayed with us, congratulations to you, because this has been a marathon. We are in the 8th end. Mike McEwen, Riku Yanagisawa. Both teams looking to stay alive in the B event. Yanagisawa will need to steal to make that happen.
A great shot.
Tickety boo.
Well, he missed a tick earlier in the game, so pretty good bounce back there.
Yeah, really nice.
For Daniel. Ticks used to be the game-winning shot when you were tied or up one with hammer. If your lead made the ticks,
True.
that was pretty well game over after that.
Exactly. At least the wiggle became a verb on the back of tick shots.
Interesting call going around everything early in the end. I do want Mike to throw against the loss. The goal.
Comes to rest back button. Get the sense that Mike isn't going to want to fool around very much here in this 8th end.
You're going to see a lot of peels here.
Yep. Thought for a moment about chasing shot rock, but thought better about it.
Now, I can guarantee you this end is going to be a lot quicker than the 7th.
Write that down, folks.
Yeah. Pretty easy decision making for Mike McEwen's side of things. They're just going to peel. Peel to the last rock.
First peel delivered by Kevin Marsh. Tsuyoshi Yamaguchi will look to replace. Gotten much more quiet out there on the playing surface. Not surprising. This is the last game active here in the late draw here in Swift Current. McEwen steals a glance to the right. See if he goes over the top. Is there a chance of a double clear? But not too worried about that. Just eliminate the stone on the center line. No problem. Nicely done. Yamaguchi being asked to replace it. Nice thing for Mike being one up in this situation as opposed to being tied. You're in a situation where if you've got maybe a quarter rock visible on your last, you can hit and spill and still win the game.
Even a guard that is pretty well useless like this one. Pretty tempting for Mike to play the hit. The peel is the simple call. I mean, that guard is pretty useless, being as high as it is. Pretty tempting to throw the yellow-red.
Yeah, I was listening to the conversation, and I could hear Mike say when they were talking about playing yellow-red, if we do that, all they're going to do is draw a guard behind the guard. He's right. So rather than give them the chance to stack 2 guards, make the simple and straightforward play and just rip it.
Keep it simple. Yeah, eventually they won't be able to guard both the yellow-red or the... They won't be able to guard both, so just keep it simple and you'll have a 3-foot run back for the win. By the end of the game.
Yamaguchi wants to leave this one as high as he possibly can. Halfway is probably perfect between long and mid. Sits it on the center line. McEwen immediately this time. And decisively. Saying to Colton Flash, smoke this one. No problem there for Colton. And that guard rock disappears, and we are down to skip stones. And now the debate of one more guard versus something in the rings comes into play.
Interesting.
What do you like here, Sam?
Yeah, it's an interesting situation. I think a guard is the easy call. It's just, what do you do on your next shot that Mike doesn't have a 2-foot run back for the win?
Well, for me, I think, again, you're up against it any way you go.
Yeah.
For me, I think I go center guard, peel, and then I try to wedge one between the yellow and the red, try to force some kind of a jam on the run back.
Yeah, I mean, arguably you could hit and roll to where there's no double. If you hit and roll on the yellow to where there's no double, Mike misses the slash double, and you draw to top 8 foot. Mike has to draw the lid against the loss. Is also an option.
That's true. Shot on the way for Riku Yanagisawa. We're going to find out soon enough where they want this stone. Tracking a wide path, making a move now. To be coming to their own stone in the back. And, well, now it's going to corner freeze the top stone.
That worked out for them.
Yep, that overlaps pretty nicely.
Still a peel for Mike. You just peel that top red one and you'll have an open hit probably for the win.
The play will be on the front red, no doubt about that.
Yeah, just blast it. Don't need to keep your yellow there. You can get rid of both. For one of the best teams in Saskatchewan and in Canada. Pretty simple shot.
No doubt. One thing he does not want to do, though, is overcurl and slam on nose and give Riku something to come around. Coming up on the midnight hour here in Swift Current. Mike McEwen looking to turn out the lights.
That's a great
Does
shot.
vaporize too and spills away. Now everything is wide open.
It does leave opportunity for.
Oh yeah, totally.
It too. Mike's gonna have to make a double or a draw to the lid for the win.
Yep. He is going to make Mike McEwen look at loss on a fan. Now you ask yourself, where's the most awkward place I can leave this? And some Pattis brush halfway in full 8.
You want to leave it to where the double is harder, so you want to leave a decent amount of space, but not high enough to where Mike will just draw. You probably want Mike to hit and hope that he misses the double.
So they definitely want this one in the rings. It's a question about how deep. And this one's making a big late move, as we've seen all day. And it comes to rest really in a direct straight line. So Mike McEwen eyeing it up. Got about 4.5 feet of gap between these two stones. Double for the win. But if he ever blows it by that one in the back, we are going to an extra end.
Big shot for Mike McEwen, not only for his team, but for the commentators to go to bed. So.
Yep, it has been a long day, but coming up to another exciting finish. Or it may be a finish. We're going to find out in about 15 seconds. Final stone of the 8th end on its way for Mike McEwen, trying to make a double takeout to win the game. It's close, and it is made. Mike McEwen delivers in the clutch. Double takeout for the win.
What a great shot by one of Saskatchewan's best curlers, Mike McEwen.
Wow. So the marathon ends on the stroke of midnight. Mike McEwen advances in the B side. He will take on the winner of Yannick Schwaller and Kevin Cooey. Team Yanagisawa will drop into the C event. And at long last, our final score, Mike McEwen 7, Riku Yanagisawa 5. For Sam Steep, I'm Hans Fraunhoff. Thanks for hanging in there with us from Swift Current. More curling to come tomorrow. Thanks for joining us, and good night from Swift Current.
We feed the world with Nutrien, and a large portion of what our job is to get fertilizer out with the carriers so they can get directed to the farms or to the different retail locations. We know that if we don't have the answer to something, we're not afraid to reach out because we have support from everyone. We've got a really good team behind us.
SaskTel Be Kind Online wants to stop cyberbullying. Want in on the action? We award up to $1,000 for youth initiatives that help spread kindness and prevent bullying. What great idea do you have to help stop bullying? SaskTel can help. Go to BeKindOnline.com and apply for a grant today. Together, we can make a difference.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.